that maybe they're looking for in their draft?
It's possible that they try to do that. We're going to have to see. I think Execration's lineup definitely has what it takes to fight back. You look at their lineup, they have many of these pretty fast-paced heroes themselves. A hero like Clockwork, Sand King, Shadow Fiend with Cogs, as mentioned by the panel, also comes online very quickly. And then you have your carry is a hero like Lycan, who is basically not necessarily all about fighting, but he's pretty good at contributing. You have Howl, you have the ultimate to make you really fast and run in and kill the heroes. And something that they also were mentioning, you know, when you're playing against TA, this refraction is something you really need to look out for. Execration had a game in the group stage where they did exactly this. They ran Lycan safe lane with Necrobook, and it destroyed, I think it was the TA of Cloud9 in that game, I believe. Had a really hard time. Fata was constantly just losing his refraction charges to the Necrobook, which in addition also gives True Sight. It's like an amazing hero counter. He has 4 summons and bye-bye refraction, you know? So I personally like Execration's draft here, but I think Team Secret have some players that could step up big time in a game like this.
I agree. There's a lot of talent in the lineup of Team Secret, and maybe that is what they're going to rely on, but it's a good story for everyone who is viewing if Execration can find themselves a solid draft they feel comfortable with that isn't just a straight, oh, Bloodseeker, no one can counter him, Broodmother, no one can counter her kind of approach to the draft. It makes things very fun and interesting, and it looks like Team Secret, they may want to try and open up the account. James, he was coming up for the rune, a pickup by Team Secret, and James wants to get back through the trees. Maybe he's got the distance with a Burrow Strike out from Lemek. They're going to get a little bit more space. Body blocking up Yapsor. He doesn't want to give him the vision. Oh, the first blood. James still alive. The boots are giving him the speed to escape the Team Secret gank.
Oh, I think Secret actually wanted to give that kill to the PL. I think both of their ranged heroes had the ability to get in an additional hit, but a lot of the times you want to give this carry that head start, and this time it comes back to bite them. I believe that was indeed a kill if they just committed for it. But, yep, they dodge a bullet there. That's the kind of thing you have in elimination matches like this. They're the most terrifying and the most exciting games at the same time, and under pressure, mistakes like that can definitely happen.
Yeah, but this is the upside sort of for Team Secret. Okay, middle lane, Burrow Strike onto mid one. They know he has no refraction charges, so Yapsor picks him up in range of the tower, and the body block from mid one. Lemek can't get out, he's blocked in by the creep wave. Mid one will spill first blood. And Raging Potato, with even that plus 16 souls, he's still forced away.
It was a great play by Yapsor, identifying that play was possible. He could actually lock him in there. Now that the creep wave in the mid has that extra creep since patch 7.0, I believe, was that earlier was 7.04, I think, added that extra creep in mid. It makes plays like those more likely to succeed just because there's more stuff in the way. And yep, they pull that off. So nice first blood for Team Secret, going the way of mid one. I think that's the player they wanted to go to more than anyone in this kind of matchup. Should secure him. Is that his bottle already coming out? It is indeed.
Yeah.
Very, very necessary in this matchup that does favor Shadow Fiend quite a bit when he has this soul advantage in the beginning usually.
Yeah. Especially when Lemek was also looking for the kill. You could see them prepping with their attacks previously. Raging Potato was beating into mid one. They knew his cooldown timing of refraction, and they tried to capitalize on that. But yeah, as you said, Team Secret, Yapsor, in the right place and right time. We were kind of expecting that from his Rubik. Without it, he doesn't get his levels, and that's something else to look at for the supports. The fact that Rubik has already managed to get 2 and well, third levels so far, trying to contest the runes, which will end up spawning on bottom, a double damage rune for RR.
You know, we got to keep an eye out for stacks in this game as well. Whenever you have Templar Assassin and Batrider in the same team, they want to farm different stacks. Batrider wants to farm the non-ancient camps most of the time, and Templar Assassin wants to farm the Ancients. So in that sense, Secret's lineup is nicely well-rounded in that they want different camps in the jungle, access to those. And then you look over at Execration, they also want stacks for their Shadow Fiend if possible, but generally not the Ancients. They're not really the way to go.
No. Go for the easier camps. Kezu at least has that Observer Ward on bottom lane watching the small stack near him. So using it for pulls until he goes for something else. MP, there's no mana on the top lane apart from enough to doppelganger away from James. Puppey is in the neighborhood with the Paralyzing Cask, and this is a battery assaulting Clockwork that has committed in with a creep wave. The Paralyzing Cask won't bounce again. The TP out will be successful, and the regeneration in the base will repair the damage. It will be done by the last tick of Maledict.
He's keeping on their toes here in the top lane, but this should not be a lane that Clockwork can ever get a solo kill in. He's pretty good against the Witch Doctor, but if he goes on the Witch Doctor, the PL can just jump in with Doppelganger and spawn additional targets for the Battery Assault, and you can't really find a kill. Can also throw out a Lance that also spawns an illusion. So this is an okay lane for Clockwork. It's not fantastic, but he's getting some levels. That's what you generally want to do on that off lane as that type of hero. The last hits are secondary to the levels on Clock, and he's already level 3. Batrider, however, is level 4 actually for Secret down bottom. Kezu's having a great time, and that's worrying. We've seen Kezu on Batrider in this tournament having some outstanding games. Probably his best hero of the tournament, actually.
That's that secondary objective of the Observer Ward. The ping's coming out right now from the SK saying, I'm fairly certain he knows that he can see us. And that's problematic because it means the rotations, like Rubik was already getting a little bit of early information, having a little battle with RR as they ran around through the Radiant jungle. Top lane, troublesome, Puppey actually locked in with the clockwork. The battery assault damage will be enough for James to get the kill. There was not much more MP could do about it. And James will even take both of the bounty runes to boot.
He actually managed. I think the Phantom Lancer looks like he was just out of mana at that point. Then that's when you can try to commit for that kind of play. If Phantom Lancer can't counterplay, this is a really difficult matchup for Witch Doctor. But he kind of relies on his carry to be able to help out, and Puppey was a bit out of position, got caught. Nice little play by James, immediately heading up to top again here.
YapzOr, that's very aggressive, coming into the trees. Lemmisk's just going to go for the straight-up Burrow Strike, and then the follow-up damage with Raze and 2 hits from Raging Potato, and that was a gift from Team Secret in the mid lane.
And they got to be careful at nighttime. Howl is really powerful right now, even though it's only level 2. This additional damage and health on all of their lanes make plays very difficult for Team Secret to carry out. So might need to take it a little bit easy. At the very least for them, they're still getting good stacks off. YapzOr's managed to double stack, or is that a triple? He's definitely double. Yeah, it's a triple stack on the right camp, and now they're tripling the top camp as well with Puppey. So 2 times triple stack Ancients ready for mid 1. Generally want to be like level 7 before you start farming those, I believe. Depending on the composition of creeps, and now he's going to head in and do some regular camps, maybe leaving a little bit of mid experience to someone else. Yeah, when that wave pushes back.
You do have 2 supports who are going to be itching for it, both the Witch Doctor as well as the Rubik benefit from having 1, they're level 6, but 2, just level increase on those supports. Rubik for the burst damage, Puppey for the more control that he's able to offer as a Witch Doctor, especially when he's sacrificing himself so much. We talk about Puppey being the hard 6 position in a team with well, I'll say with Team with Secret, just with YapzOr. He's the guy that takes everything else.
Yeah, I like that you point this out, because when it comes to this support duo, it's actually a pretty strange pairing. This is kind of a thing of the past, running 2 ranged supports like this. Most of the time your position 4 is more of a melee hero that is tankier, can go for these aggressive plays, similar to like what the Sand King is of Lumik. We've seen a lot of Nyx assassin.
MP, really? James under the tower, Puppey has to let the paralyzing cuts go, and cuts apart 3, even body blocks him out, making it impossible for James to go through the trees. Another TP out to safety, does he have the life? He'll go back to base and barely surviving.
Clutch. That was really close.
Oh boy.
He's kind of pressing his luck here a bit, but forcing MP back to base at the same time he forces himself back is a pretty okay trade-off for the Clockwork. Maybe slightly Secret favorite, because of course the Witch Doctor can go and take some XP in the lane, but that wasn't the worst thing in the world for James.
Team Secret also get a little bit more of an advantage looking towards that mid lane. Raging Potato disappeared into the jungle at the same time as mid 1 did, but mid 1 came back earlier. He came back with the catapult wave, which is still alive, beating into that mid tower, dropping it down to 286. So Raging Potato got a little bit of farm, but as you said, mid 1 is level 7. He now has that and can look towards the Ancients. And YapzOr, this is where he also leeches so hard. You push the Rubik closer towards that level 6, closer towards that the big burst damage where his rotations become more powerful. And,
this time you're not getting out. That is not happening.
His TP's on cooldown, he's got 4-1 charges, create the space for the clocks. Nice. Never. Okay, no, there's your Lancers. James, maybe, Lemmick, get rid of the illusions of Fate Bolt from YapzOr.
That comes
securing the kill.
The signature Fate Bolt, that's unnecessary, but just needs that gold on the Rubik, you know.
That was necessary. I sense a level of salt.
100% dead from that last tick of Maledict.
Okay, I should just point out,
no one here.
For the former YapzOr teammate, Syndra and sitting next to me, he's going to possess more salt than PPD during this game.
That's hard to do. I can actually give you a little bit more of a background to this game. Speaking of past history with players, mid 1 TA knocked me out last year in a best-of-1 elimination game. That's what Fnatic actually turned to in that game as well. So it's a very, I think if you look at mid 1 and you're like, okay, we're playing a best-of-1 elimination game, we want to give him his best, most comfortable hero in high-pressure situations. This is the one. This is basically a repeat of last year with Fnatic. Yeah, when mid 1 was playing that. So.
And we really have seen it, like games with Templar Assassin, she can sit like a couple of thousand net worth in front and is able to carry a team. Like, all you need to do is have just that little bit of momentum, and they've got it so far.
It's also just the pacing of the best-of-1 elimination games. Like, teams are generally likely to play a little more cautiously and slower. And then a hero like TA that can abuse stacks can be a very powerful tool to have in your arsenal. You see, the Execration side has barely even contested these stacks right now. They've mainly been playing their own side of the map. The Clockwork has been putting some pressure top, but apart from that, we've barely even seen their heroes cross the river. So if that's how you're going to play, TA is a pretty damn amazing pick for this kind of stuff. And just need to wait to see when mid 1 wants to farm these stacks. They would take him up to level 10.5, I think, and about 80-90 CS.
Oh, if he had Firefly, he really would have gone for that. Had Lasso off cooldown and 3 sticky napalm stacks on the Lycan. That was probably the best opportunity, even though he kept walking under the tower. So maybe not the greatest positioning. So Yapsor's taking up the middle. Looks like they're also going to give Lemic that kind of space to farm up there while TA's gone jungle. Kezu on the run, but he'll be okay. So this is that flash farm period we're talking about. We can look towards the SF for his timing. Shadowblade build is his item of choice. Okay, level 6, hook shot, up she flies, finding Kezu. Battle Rider, fantastic for getting out of the cogs. If he had the Firefly, but it just times out. Is there restoration? No, there isn't. Kezu just needs the life. Stick charges won't be enough. And RR can add his first +2 for the game with the intelligence stolen.
That was perfect timing on that hook shot. Very nicely done by James. Just before the Firefly expires, sees that very little moment of opportunity. We're talking half a second here. Gets that jump, they get that nice kill. The gold goes to RR, who's generally, I think he's played Silencer for Execration in a couple of games, and he has a tendency of being very starved. He plays very hard support. This hero actually benefits a lot from getting just one item as in the support role. Generally a mobility item like Force Staff or Glimmer Cape for saving or something like that contributes quite a lot for this hero in particular, I would say.
It's kind of the sad thing for him. He's played Silencer in one game and was up against the team who just crushed here on the stage, Newbie. So
he had a hard time.
Yeah, he had a very hard time. Yapsol has a big smoke maneuver commitment here from Team Secret. You have the drums over on Kezu, so you have the movement speed that can come from the Bat Rider. So as the advantage, if you can be successful at this fight, potentially picking off Raging Potato. He's just trying to finish up the Ancient Black Dragon, which may just be stolen by Kezu, while mid 1 will finish the tier 1 tower in mid. Some decent money now being injected into the Team Secret bank account.
Yeah. Is that a Lycan ulti?
It is a Lycan ulti.
Farming? Okay. So Secret, the biggest discrepancy right now is when you look at the CS across the board, it looks pretty even, right? Like Tia has 92, Shadowfiend has about 90, PL and Lycan are even as well, but the big discrepancy is Bat Rider to Clockwork, and that's just how these heroes work. In essence, like Bat Rider will outfarm Clockwork quite a lot if they're both given a good game, and that's the net worth advantage. Now the question is, how much can this Clockwork set up for his team with this low net worth compared to that Bat Rider? As you said, already has Drum, closing in on a Blink Dagger. We're probably going to see that for Kezu around the 15-minute mark at this rate.
Well, that's the advantage of the Clockwork, the fact he already has initiation, but Kezu still has the Firefly up and running, so getting out of the cogs is easy enough. Giving it to Yapsor, easy when you trigger Battery Assault after. So not the ability Yapsol was searching for.
It gives them some decent kill potential with Lasso, actually. If they lasso someone into Battery Assault, that deals a lot of damage, if they want to look for that.
You still need the Blink, though. He's at 600 and requires a lot more, that 2250. But they may try and go for it anyway. Keep the Bat Rider down, keep him away from that Blink Dagger. A 3-man smoke up as they wrap around the Roche Pit. Where do they want to go? The line is drawn to actually go back up and into the dire jungle towards the Ancients. And who are they going to find? It's going to be Kezu, but Kezu, well, it's the other way around. He actually finds them.
They're having a hard time dealing with this Bat Rider, I would say. He's only got 1 death in this 70 CS and just... They didn't manage to kill him top, now he's going to break their smoke and keep farming. And TA is completely uncontested. I think that's the biggest concern for Execration, is that mid 1 is just farming.
TA is going to kill bottom lane, they're initiating it. MP made a way through the trees on the east. Nando doesn't have the life with the stick charges and so many PLs fighting against him. Mid 1 just has the damage. And a very hard way to fight that. Like, Puppy revealed himself in mid only a second before that. They didn't know where...
Oh, those side blades.
Oh, Lemic! Back to the trees, out of range, survive. Let the Tranquil Boots kick in.
And I was getting some...
the rocket.
Some Ferrari flashbacks right there. Remember that Root kill?
Oh, wow, that's a long time ago.
It's a pretty long time ago. That's a very memorable moment, though. Yeah, he hit 3 side blades in a row and an invisible target there. Very nice from mid 1, but not enough. Even though he had the Desto already, I think he picked this up at sub 12 minutes, which is very quick. They just keep stacking. All right, now he's just going to walk into the camp himself, block that off.
Yeah. But Nando's trying to make the best of the opportunity. We talked about the fact like TA is getting a lot of fun, but we also talked about the fact that Lycan is the counter. You can check the item build of Nando. He's finished his treads and he just picked up his level 1 Necrobook.
And even level 1 Necrobook is very good.
Yep. They're going to need it.
And
right
Shadow
now,
Fiend has Shadow Blade as well.
The fight's preparing on bottom lane. You've got Kezu ready to come around the back. You've got mid 1 ready to push in as well, straight through the middle. Observer and Sentry is down for Team Secret. So they will be aware in this fight. The hook shot gonna miss the target, and without that now, Kenzu feels so confident. Jumps in, gets the silencer out, so no global silence available for the fight. Paralyzing cast, making it difficult for Raging Potato to move back out. The Burrow Strike again, holding him in position. Let Puppy Sand Lord go. James will fall. Execration lose 4. The Lycan, the man who wasn't there, the sole survivor, claiming the Tier 1 tower on top as the only consolation prize for Execration.
We might be seeing some of those main stage jitters from some of the less experienced players. They seem very hesitant, and that attempt from Clockwork to jump, I think he was trying to hookshot the PL under his tower, maybe into a global play. It's a very difficult play, very high risk, low reward kind of play in that tower to try to get. And Secret were just in position and counterplayed them very nicely here. We're going to see it now. I actually think that the hook is already on cooldown now. Raging Potato goes in, doesn't manage to kill the PL at all. And this fight is... The moment Silencer gets grabbed, it's very difficult for Execration to counterplay this move of Secret. Their burst damage is just way too high, and they can't prevent those players from getting in and getting it done.
Yep, and it seems so hard for them to move around in the fight. Like the Paralyzing Cask is doing so much work too. And you've got the other AoE stun, which can come in from the Rubik. The Batrider control, as you can see, they know they got this fight in the bag. The second you get that early pick-off, Team Secret will not be hindered at all. So instead, Execration try and make something out of something else, and that is James moving in towards the mid, looking for that angle with the haste room, but he ran over the top of Templar Assassin's trap. So Secret were ready for it. They already had the counter hero. Rubik versus Clockwork is one of the easiest ways to save you from cogs by throwing the Rubik outside of his own cogs.
Now the question is what Execration's lineup can do to really set up a fight that can bring them into a good position again. Secret are getting a lot more out of the map right now after taking that fight. They've taken 2 towers to the 1 of Execration. Doesn't sound like too much, but getting the mid tower down is pretty significant.
They're going to try and fight again?
Yep. They should be looking for something like this. They have the tools, right?
Well, are they actually going to Roshan? It's difficult with Templar Assassin on the field.
Well, they're looking to try something mid. There's the shapeshift.
Yeah, gonna run in. There's Sentry Wars down.
Oh,
the hook shot. Mid 1 just walked ahead. Can blink himself away to safety. The global silence is out. They need this fight to work. The Burrow Strike holding mid 1 in position. Templar Assassin will fall. And Nando going full dog way forward. But now Paralyzing Cast from Puppy holding James as well as Nando together. They have to get outside the cogs. Yapsor can't get the stolen epicenter in range of Execration. But James, he'll walk himself in range of Team Secret. So they can just send the PL illusions in and James will fall. It was a big kill, however. They did bring down Templar Assassin with the move.
Yeah, considering that they missed the hookshot there, that's a pretty okay outcome, I think, for Execration. Even the hookshot itself is pretty difficult to do on the TA, who does have Refraction up and the Blink Dagger, so you need to do enough instances of damage to prevent her from blinking out. I think the thing that Execration are missing right now, apart from slightly better spell usage, is the Blink Dagger on Sand King. That's going to make things a lot easier. And we have Lumic farming at bottom. He's 600 away. Should be able to set up for a nice epicenter, since it's really nice to play Sand King when you're not the only initiation in the team. When someone else can set you up so you can get epi instead of being forced to, a lot of the times, choose between that fast Burrow Strike or the epi, he can now count on his ally to set it up, knowing he has global in the back as well. It's a very nice lineup to play Sand King in. So I think they should definitely be looking to enable him here with a blink.
Execration have a choice now. They've scouted up mid 1 doing Templar Assassin. Team Secret, 4-man smoke over. They've got an Observe Ward on the hill. So is the Sentry Ward. They dust down. They'll see Raging Potato lassoed up. Someone needs to create a little bit of space before they lose the SF. James has gone in, but now he's isolated in the middle of 5 heroes of Team Secret. Trying to run out. The Cogs at least split the fight up a little bit more. No buyback from the SF. Nando just wants to TP himself out. Keep this Lycan alive. They'll be successful with that. RR will not be so lucky as attention moves towards the SK. Diffuser Blade, it was freshly purchased just before this fight, and it is nipping the heels of Execration out. So no more running away, and no more ways to contest Roshan from Team Secret.
They should be putting this Aegis on the TA. It's a good item on the Phantom Lancer as well. Gets a lot out of the second life, but mid 1 is just extremely far ahead right now. We can play very aggressively with this. He's also their primary structure pusher here. He can take down a couple of towers maybe with this Aegis 18 minutes in. Maybe they can get the remaining tier 1, maybe the tier 2 bottom. It's fairly easy to siege. The other tier 2s are a bit more tricky, but they should be feeling like they're in a good position with a good advantage here. We see the replay again.
Yeah,
Lasso on the Shadow Fiend puts them in a really bad spot.
And you can see exactly what they wanted to do. Like, there was the observer ward also on top of the hill. That's what set up a lot of that fight. They saw the SF coming from a mile away, and the fresh Blink Dagger, another item which was purchased just before that fight, caught Execration off guard.
Yeah. Could have maybe been a different story if they had Global Silence ready, but the Bat Rider in this game is doing a lot of work. Kezu's finding the right picks. He's been involved in 9 out of 12 kills on his Bat.
Probably the reason why at the end of every single Team Secret fight, we're having a camera close-up on Kezu just going, yeah.
Pretty much.
Good fight, boys. Good fight. So, Execration, they still have some things working their way. Even though the gold is moving 6,000 in the way of Team Secret, the experience about 8,500, you still have that power that comes from the SF as well as the Lycan. Lycan, we've seen a little bit of his power throughout the fight, but not a hell of a lot. Most of it was just Necrobook focusing on the Templar Assassin. But so far, SF really hasn't had a huge influence. Apart from the initial pickoff when they were able to get the Clockwork grab, like, that was good. But the Shadow Blade hasn't really paid off. He's still working his way towards his BKB, and maybe then he'll have a chance if he doesn't get caught by the Bat Rider.
It definitely still feels like the type of game Execration can come back in. It's a fairly big lead, but it's not insurmountable at all. And their lineup, I think fares pretty well in the core-on-core matchups later on. The Shadow Fiend is okay against PL, as PPD pointed out. I think we've talked about the Lycan against the TA.
They're forcing a fight.
They just need to get their key items without losing out too much and organizing the fights a bit better. Now that the Blink Daggers up on Sand King and Secret don't know it, this could give them that one big fight. If Execration just get one good team fight where they trade maybe 5 for 2, 5 for 3, the game is going to almost even out because they should be able to take another tower or 2 after that fight. I see the mid tower being low already here for Team Secret.
You talk about the Blink Dagger over on the Sand King. We have a just shy of 20-minute Rubik Blink Dagger coming out on the courier to Yapsaw. So your Blink ability across the field now, both Kezu, Mid-1, and Yapsaw all have Blink Daggers. Team Secret's positioning to be very difficult for Execration to counter.
Illusion.
Not to mention Clockwork isolating a target.
That's not the easiest ask right now. And the thing about this Rubik Blink Dagger that's so crucial is that if Yapsar is fast, which he has a tendency to be on this hero, he can Blink Steal Barrow Strike, which is an incredible steal for Rubik in general. Has to play around Global Silence, one of the better counters to Rubik, but it is definitely possible.
Team Secret are coming down the mid lane. They've still got the Aegis the Immortal for a little bit more time. Another 2 minutes before it will get reclaimed.
Puppy's signature buckler. He's the only player who does this, I think. Always gets a buckler.
It's funny to know what hero they're on too, they do it.
The funny thing to me about this is that that's one of the things they talked about in the panel, right? Like, you have this type of player who's very stubborn and likes the stuff that he likes and just wants to do it, and Puppy has been buying bucklers for years. And nobody else really likes buckler, but Puppy's like, this is the item. Then I asked him how long it lasts on creeps and heroes, and he didn't know, so that was interesting.
Critical details to justify your
He thought it lasted the same duration on creeps as heroes. I mean, why wouldn't it, right? Why wouldn't it, actually? But, yeah.
Do you know Synderin?
I know. Slacks and I sat down and made us some really difficult questions, so that one's pretty hard.
Alright. Well, Team Secret, you've still got the Aegis the Immortal for another minute and then 10-ish seconds. Going high ground is probably not the easiest thing they want to do. We are only 22 minutes into the game, and you do not want to give Execration the ability to fight from a point of power. Especially now that Raging Potato has that BKB, he would like the fight. But Team Secret also understand they're very powerful, so the only other objectives outside the base at the moment are the Tier 1 and Tier 2 tower up at the top lane. Is that just a simple thing that Team Secret can just move towards and take, or should they be forcing something else?
It's the easiest objective on the map now, for sure. But it might still be too high risk to do at this point. How long is left on that Aegis? Half a minute. They're not going to get up there in time. They do have the BKB to play around with on mid one, which is definitely a very good item in this game. They're probably also pretty content to farm. As long as they are sitting in the position they are right now, they're owning definitely the majority of the farm on the map right now. You see them posing very aggressively in the Radiant jungle. The Radiant has swapped up to top, but it still feels like Secret have a bit more map control by the tower advantage that they have.
This could work very well for the mid-1. He doesn't know what he's running into, or then again, they don't know what they're running into. Mid-1's got the Invis rune. He goes straight on top of the Clockwork, but nobody knows. The Shadow Blade's going to break in just a second, and then mid one will know exactly what he's up against. Regeneration from the Aegis, and remains an Invis. Breaks the party up of Execration and goes back to farming. Meanwhile, mid lane, they do find a target. It's going to be RR. YapzOr able to actually not take the kill for once. It's KheZu.
Proud of you, YapzOr. Good job. Didn't take the kill.
Team player.
Yeah.
Got to get that that new item on the Batrider, who's already got Drums, Blink, Force, and full Magic Wand.
Secret are holding nice grip on the map, though. This is a 10k lead now. Execration still haven't really been able to find that team fight that they're looking for. The couple of smokes they had toward mid were very easily read by Secret. It feels like forever since they got their last kill. They will be trying to push a bit up top, it looks like, having some information about where Secret's heroes are, but they don't feel confident to just go and attack this with their SF.
It's like they're trying to bait it in, so you show the SF up here, but it's the two heroes who have distance closing. It's the Blink Dagger on the SK, and it's the hook shot from the Clockwork. They want to have a fight, where it's just one hero coming back from Team Secret to defend the top lane push, but Team Secret is refusing to oblige.
Yeah, Secret are just staying down here. They found a new home. Basically, the Dire has migrated onto the Radiant side of the map. And now nobody likes Dire anymore. There's nobody in that jungle. But this is what Secret want. This is the ideal situation. This is, again, this is even better for them than if Execration's heroes were top. Now they're just controlling it even harder. Execration's heroes are hiding in base. They do have a smoke on the Sand King that they could try to commit here and look for some sort of play. The last 10 minutes have been all Secret, I feel. There hasn't been too much initiative from Execration that...
Well, they're trying to find a hole in Team Secret's defense, but so far, none has really presented itself too strongly. Rockets continue to fly out from the Clockwork, trying to get vision.
Got some info there. Just gonna see PL farming the camp. That could be useful.
Question is, though, where can they still initiate? Which hero do you initiate into? There's so much counter because Team Secret are so close to each other, holding each other's hands. Your vision where Team Secret are farming at the moment is non-existent for Execration. The Radiant scan 4, they don't find anything. Waiting for that Dire scan. It is actually off cooldown for the moment. And now Lemic, well, Burrow Strike going to catch out too. Global Suns as well, trying to counter the attack. TA, however, got a BKB off. She might be fine for the moment. The epicenter damage is nice, but then the Clockwork cogs! It traps all of Execration on the same position! They cannot get away! Too much damage, and the stolen epicenter from YapzOr! Lacquer it on top! And Execration will lose 3, potentially 4. Lemic is doing his TP at the moment, and he will get out in time.
Oh, those were not the cogs, man. That feels bad when that happens. He had the right intentions, but the Force Staff from KheZu, I believe it was, just got him out of position into a better position, and the TA didn't get trapped inside either. Secret just get another convincing win. That was a 3-0. Another 4K advantage built from that fight.
This is more than problematic. This is Team Secret looking to push. And the ping is coming. Like, is it going to be for Tier 1 tower or Tier 3? Mid 1 is the one looking towards the mid. The rest of Secret are farming for the moment. And mid 1 just by himself can pressure the mid to look for a reaction from Execration. And that's exactly what he does, and then just bounces away. So let's have a look at that fight again. So the Burrow Strike comes in. He gets a nice double stun at the beginning, even the epicenter. But the second the silence wears off, Epi gets stolen. And that Clockwork cogs was basically the funeral parade of cogs for Execration.
Basically set up 3 side blade attacks in a row, I think. The Quake Force Staff from KheZu there is very important as well. And this is a problem. When Sand King jumps like that and Clockwork follows through, the other heroes need time to connect. The Lycan needs to use his shapeshift and start running toward it. Shadowfiend has to run all the way in. So the way Execration's heroes were positioned, they actually couldn't use their Sand King stun. Oh, Silencer, speaking of position.
Nice lasso, able to grab that Silencer, the stolen Burrow Strike. In there for YapzOr. You talked about how quick he has to be to grab it. Lemic, he attempted to Sandstorm as well, but Silencer down, all the towers on the top lane being removed. We're 27 minutes into the game, and now Team Secret, they want to go up. And they're able to do so. The Burrow Strike is more posturing than anything else. It does no damage whatsoever, and they know there's no follow-up. With no silencer, with no global silence, they cannot win the fight. Maybe if Raging Potato can get that blind, like, Requiem of Souls, you can see him wanting to attempt it on MP. And Puppey maybe feels the pressure. Sentry wards are going down everywhere.
Missed hook shot again. They need to connect their spells with their heroes in the right position, else it's all for naught. It doesn't matter. Here we go. There's better position this time.
Yeah, maybe they can get it, but you couldn't get the follow-up from Lemming. Mid1 able to get himself far enough away. They're trying to get the distance. The BKB out from Raging Potato. At least he won't be affected by the paralyzing cast, but Lycan continuously stunned up. Now the global silence is out. Nando, he has to do work here. He has to find the kill. Mid1's the primary target. The secondary burrow is there from Lemming, but Mid1, he will finally die. Puppey will join him with a glorious death ward to, well, signify his own demise. They want more. Nando, MP, now the Lycan form is worn off. MP can come into this fight. The Burrow strike forward. Yapsaw still not dead yet. He's able to actually stay alive through so much of this. Almost killing off Lemic on the hill. Lemic will get the kill, but maybe, still not enough. Raging Potato, Requiem of Souls up against MP. He can just dodge too easy, and Kezu and MP will stand over the corpses of Execration. It cost him 3 teammates, but the fight goes the way of Team Secret.
That was a much better organized team fight from Execration, but they're really far
Courier,
behind.
no!
Wait, did Kezu just kill the Courier?
Yeah, the Courier was making a break for the secret shot.
Oh. What was on it?
Nothing. It was going up there at the time.
But this is the way Execration can take these fights. It was close to being good enough, but Secret's big advantage there still allows them to come out on top. Even losing the TA like that is still playable just because of how much net worth they have across the board on all of their heroes. Everyone in their lineup is actually pretty farmed. Even the Witch Doctor.
Hook shot. James gonna hit this one. MP, well, he turns on the Blade Mel. MP's not gonna fight him with the Battery Assault. Now he gets free. It's the doppelganger. James can't stay close. The Diffuser Blade stopped him. The rocket will fly forward. It does the damage, but MP on 33 HP will survive. As Manta available as well. Lemic's trying to close the distance. The Wolves are scouting, and now finally they find MP. Tries to break out with the Manta, but it will not work. And RR, the man who sent that Curry up to start with, he finally has his Solar Crest he went up to buy.
That's a pretty big chunk of gold.
It is.
Oh, MP doesn't have buyback. They could actually just get the Roche off this.
If they only knew. There's still Templar Assassin traps around, and that TA is also still a beast. That's a full Butterfly. Blink, BKB Desolator on mid-1. And a Haste Rune, which will get him in range of Lemic. So Yapsaw gets to sit on a hill for 1 second until he 4-staffs down. But that is now no SK for 43 seconds.
And that should mean that this Aegis will eventually go to Secret. I think they're going to push in all the waves, make sure that Execration are cornered in their base, and then they can kill this Roshan very, very quickly with the combination of heroes. They have the TA, can pretty much solo this Rosh very quickly. Oh, he's going to see James.
Oh, at least maybe with the Blade Mel. No, they're not even going to... They just wait until it wears off, then mid-1 does the rest of the damage. Refraction protected him to start with. And the Clockwork. Quick and easy pickoff. Team Secret. Very methodical in this game.
They're going to just... pushing in the mid. Roche is... It looks like TA is moving toward the Roche. The movement trajectory goes there. Oh, a nice region. Fair enough. Oh, he doesn't want it.
Just... he'll get it later. Oh,
Yapsaw gets the region.
Well done, Yapsaw. Well done.
Oh, Yapsaw gets it. Okay.
Yeah, now we see who the real carry is.
Yeah, now you just need to sell his bottle, and then we're back to normal. You can't do that.
He can give his bottle to a carry. Come on. It's donations for the poor. Yapsaw, blink in, able to find the Sand King. He's still got Burrow Strike and 15-1 charges, make that 16, 17. But that's only because Team Secret are expending abilities to kill him off. So no SK, once again, picked off outside the base. Execration, it always feels like they're one man down or one primary ability down. And this will give Team Secret the opening they want.
They seem less coordinated and more chaotic in the
All right, Raging Potato, you got to burn the refraction. Charges the blink away! Mid-1, saw it coming from a mile off. Takes the range racks. Nando was triggered his dog form as well. And now they're going to go in once more. Looking for the opening. Mid-1 takes the top tier 3 tower. Nando is just enjoying being on speed with his wolf form, but 70 seconds before it's back off cooldown. You will have the SK up in 6 seconds, but Team Secret, they've already made a hole in your home. And Raging Potato, I don't think he understands like which hero he's got to go on.
That's 1.5 lanes of racks. They still have the melee in mid, and I think Secret are going to just wait a little bit. Again, push out this wave in the mid, get that in a good position. The bottom lane is pushing in a little bit, probably courtesy of Clockwork. At least he could do that. But it's not looking good for Execration now. We're at that stage now where, judging from what lineups are facing each other, you need some sort of a miracle here to come back. If they find that perfect combination with everything, all their cooldowns ready, where they get a good epicenter Sand stun and global sounds on top, and they land their key spells in addition to that, they can definitely still take the fight, but there are such a big margin for error for Team Secret. They're just going to send in mid 1 with their medallion on.
Team Secret basically need to have 5 heroes standing all on the one spot for Execration to have enough control in the team fight where they can win it. But they can at least attempt to evenly trade or keep someone alive. The SK, at least the global silence is out, but the SF will be able to survive. Maybe mid 1 going down. Aegis Immortals, the only thing he'll lose, where SF will lose its life. A quick buyback. They have to fight now or never. Even with the low souls, you have to hold the line. Nando's with his BKB in the fight, but mid 1, the damage output is roughly 400. They'll take the mid racks. They're forcing Execration back into their fountain. And Team Secret, they want to get Negas. They'll do this the long way. No tier 4 tower push. It's safe, secure. The tier 3 tower will fall. Clockwork trying to actually jump into the front lines. There is the pickup. Mid 1 just focusing on the Raging Potato. They need to die back on the SF. They'll remove his damage. They'll remove his aura. And they'll remove Execration almost from the International. Mid 1 just needs to finish the job. The racks are still to be done. There's Lemic with his Burrow Strike, at least able to catch the Templar Assassin, but oh my lord, RR is gone. They've lost 4, they've lost 5, and they can be brutally, savagely wrecked out of the International. Team Secret have done it. It took 34 minutes, it was convincing, it was clean, and it felt like Execration just never got in the game.